All right, hello everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee with Carl. I'm going to do this at the beginning this time so everybody will know as well. But please remember to like and subscribe if you have not already. And also remember to share with a friend. Love creating this free content, but want to make sure it's getting to as many people as possible. So yeah, please remember to hit the like and subscribe. Today I want to talk a little bit about participating loans as part of doing a potential joint venture. It's one of those options that is not usually first on the list for considerations on how to do a deal, but it's an interesting one. So a participating loan is basically a loan that traditionally loans we're aware that basically you loan money out and get a percentage of return. On a participating loan, what you can do is base that percentage of return on the actual profit from the joint venture. So it's pretty neat. It's same thing as a loan, so you don't technically have any ownership in the business, so your decision-making power is limited. You also don't have any liability in the business because you're just a lender. So some people like it for that. And then ultimately, the only big difference is the terms under which the loan are constructed are basically, I'm looking for maybe a 50% profit for the loan, for basically lending the money versus 8 or 10% interest rate. So usually the way you word it as well, you have an either or option. Most times what you're looking at on a participating loan is the greater of the two. So you may have a 10% interest rate or 20% of the proceeds of the project, whatever's greater. So it's an option out there to consider. Like I said, it doesn't come up very often. There's sort of good uses for it, and there's some that are less useful. Like I said, sort of the highlights are you can still take a percentage of the project and act as a lender and lien the property or lien the project, so your loan's secured. But ultimately, it's still a loan. So you lose out on some of those control pieces as far as making decisions for the business or having to sign off on things. So you're sort of sitting on the outside. Like I said, it's a tool that's out there, and if it's appropriate, or if you have a question that's appropriate for our platinum clients, we would encourage you to call in and have a discussion with one of our attorneys on if it's appropriate for you. And then we can also provide that documentation for free because it's in our platinum portal for our platinum clients. So it's an interesting option that's out there. Like I said, I like to talk about it because I don't know that a lot of people have used it. But it's great if you're used to being a lender and aren't quite as interested in creating or basically being part of somebody else's business and just want the money in the return. So where does this work best? I would think this would work best in a existing relationship that you may have had with somebody or have done a couple projects with them. You maybe only want to invest some money, but you don't want to be part of the business. And then in that case, you could take a percentage of the profit, lend the money, still be secured once you file the lien against the property for real estate, and then you're on your way. So yeah, that's one of our other options for joint ventures would be the participating loan. So yeah, if you have any questions, let us know. Until next time, thanks for everybody joining us for this episode of Coffee with Carl. And remember, don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends. Thanks, everyone.